What's good, guys? Angel of the Night here. We are back again with more Inkay games. This is our Week 7 battle versus Dimonutive. I know it's taken me a bit to get this uploaded, and I do apologize for that. Life comes first. So, first off, we have to take a look at the teams here. These are all Pokemon that are available in generations 1 to 3. That can only mean one thing. It's a Game Boy battle! And as you guys can see, I'm using a pure Cantonian team. That's right, guys, I'm using a Generation 1 team here. We've got Vaporeon, Gengar, Primeape, Clefable, Arcanine, and Tauros, whereas my opponent has Charizard, Torkoal, Jumpluff, Hariyama, Porygon-z, and Dragonite. Now, as it is a Game Boy battle, of course, we cannot use Annihilate, we can't use Hisuian Arcanine, we cannot use any of the Combat Tauroses, and we cannot use Porygon-z. So, we are going to lead off here with a Tauros and a Clefable, and then of course we've also selected Primeape as well. So, we also have Arcanine. I've probably tried to record this battle several times, so we are, again, going with a full Cantonian team here. When I thought of Kanto, first Pokemon I thought of was Tauros, and if you guys know anything about Generation 1, Tauros is a pretty badass Pokemon. So I thought to myself, how can I make it even cooler? And I thought of my Combat Tauros that I used in one of the competitions, and it was a cursing set, which boosted its defenses and of course went Terra Ghost and put curses on everybody. So we actually ended up getting the Intimidate off here onto the Torkoal. That actually forces the Eject Pack as soon as the sun is set up, and of course he comes in with his Charizard. Definitely a pretty brilliant swap in. Honestly, this completely took me off guard here because first of all, I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to be able to do? I'm pretty sure a Heat Wave is going to be coming in. And of course, that's exactly what's going to end up happening here. He's going to go in for the Terrestrialization into Fire, which normally you wouldn't see a pure Fire Terrestrial Charizard outside of a Sun team, just because there's too many threats for it now. We do have Clefable here. We ended up going in for the Follow Me. Just in the situation where it doesn't actually go for the Heat Wave. I wasn't quite 100% certain it would have it, but it does confirm here that it does have the Heat Wave. That actually makes contact with the two Pokemon, bypasses the Follow Me, and just one-shots my two Pokemon. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not expect a Sun team at all. I had a very hard time getting past Generation 1. And that's just because I'm such a Gen 1er at heart. You guys can laugh at me and make fun of me for that, but Kanto is where it's at. You guys can fight me on it. We come in here with the Arcanine. Now, if only I had Flash Fire, that might have helped me out here maybe a little bit. We have Arcanine coming in with the Intimidate. Of course, we drop the attack set of the Charizard. Not really going to matter because that thing is pure special attack all over. We do have Primeape here, and of course it is a Life Orber. I did not go for an Evolite set because I wanted to be able to do as much damage as possible to my opponent. Now, I did decide to go for a Close Combat to the Charizard. I figured maybe Close Combat might be able to knock it out, considering it's actually lost its flying capabilities. And then, of course, I'm also trying to debate if I'm going to go for the Terra Fighting, and then, of course, go for like an Ice Punch. Definitely didn't do that. Obviously, that was a kind of a dumb idea. And I ended up going to go for like a Gunk Shot into the Jumpluff. As you guys can see, there's the Scorching Sands coming into the Arcanine. I haven't seen Scorching Sands onto a Charizard in forever, so I wasn't really sure that that was going to be a thing. Just ends up one-shotting the Arcanine and just knocking it out. Primeape, of course, we managed to get our Gunk Shot off, which is pretty fantastic. We actually knock out the Jumpluff, which, you know, after having 3 Pokemon knocked out, that actually kind of gave me a little bit of hope here. Solar Power with Charizard. So if we take into consideration that the sun is up, he's got Terrestrial Fire, he's got Solar Power, and honestly, I don't really know what other item it actually has. Dimonutive, if you're out there, make sure you post a comment. I'd like to know what your Charizard had for an item. If I missed it, guys, you know, let me know. He comes back in with his Torkoal, and of course, you know, I'm kind of locking in to attack that Charizard. I decided to go for the Terrestrial of Fighting, so that way it'll actually boost up my close combat here if I do manage to get the hit off onto the Charizard. And here's this Primeape with this big giant boxing glove on its head. Kind of funny looking, actually, but I do like the crystal effect onto that Primeape. This is the first time I'm using Primeape in Scarlet and Violet. Torkoal is going in for the helping hand here, boosting up the Charizard. Heat Wave actually ends up missing, which is awesome for us because now we can get our close combat off. Close combat is actually just going to finish up the Charizard and knock it out, which is great. I'm super happy that we were actually at least able to get this Charizard out of here. Torkoal could potentially be a big issue, especially if it goes for like an eruption because it's actually full HP. As you can see, Primeape is actually losing a little bit of its health here from the Life Orb. And then one big threat Pokemon comes in, and that is going to be a Dragonite. Now, Dragonite, of course, it is weak to the Ice type. And I'm thinking that this thing here has kind of some defensive sides to it, basically in regards to that ability. Aerial Ace coming in, knocking out the Primeape, and that is going to be game number 1. Now the ability, I believe it's multi-scale. I couldn't think of it there just a minute ago, but pretty much every Dragonite has multi-scale now, doesn't it? I don't think anybody actually runs Inner Focus. Prove me wrong, guys. If anybody actually uses that, post it in the chat. I'd be very interested to find out if anybody actually ditches multi-scale for any reason. Game number 2. Okay, here we go. Torkoal comes in as well as the Jumpluff. We actually ended up going with Primeape and Gengar this time because we didn't want to intimidate the Torkoal and have that eject pack happen there once again. With the Gengar, of course, I did bring in Gengar just in case he decides to bring Charizard first, or if we want to try to be able to get that Jumpluff out of there. Gunk Shot did actually work quite a bit. We were debating on if we were going to go for the close combat, if we were going to terrestrialize. I thought maybe I'll save my terrestrialization for later. We did lock in with Sludge Bomb here, and of course Jumpluff is faster, which actually kind of shocked me a little bit. I haven't fought too many Jumpluff recently. I actually could have swore Gengar was faster, but we actually ended up getting put to sleep, which is pretty neat. That's exactly how I would have played Jumpluff. We get the close combat off onto the Torkoal. The Torkoal, of course, does survive. And we actually drop both of our defenses, and our Life Orb actually takes some of our damage. We did avoid the attack from the Torkoal, which is fantastic for us, because I don't know if I would have been able to live that hit. Here comes the Sleep Powder again from the Jumpluff, getting the double sleep. A little bit dirty there, but that's how VGC is. If you guys play by Smogon, of course there's sleep clauses and all that, so we end up getting the Sludge Bomb off. We actually got a Wake onto the Gengar, which is fantastic, and we actually one-shot that Jumpluff, knocking it out. Okay, Primeape is fast asleep, of course. It got put to sleep that first turn. Here's the Overheat, and of course Overheat misses the Gengar. A double miss from Torkoal. Does that actually happen? Like, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. In comes Dragonite, and of course, I'm still not sure if it's multi-scale yet or not in the playback here, but we are locking in to attack onto the Dragonite. Gengar is trying to decide what it wants to do here. There is a Sludge Bomb, pretty much my more powerful move onto the Gengar. Obviously, Shadow Ball is a close second, if not even with it. We lock into the Torkoal. Torkoal is going to go for the Protect, and of course, that is going to leave me open to attack onto the Dragonite if I actually do manage to wake up. I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't one-shot me, but you never know quite exactly what will happen when it comes to Dragonite. I was kind of thinking he might go for like a Terrestrial Normal and an Extreme Speed, but he has Earthquake. And I haven't seen anyone run Earthquake in a doubles match in quite some time. And he actually managed to just pull that off quite successfully. Gengar holding on by 1 HP there, which is great. Tauros coming in, going to get the Intimidate off here. And that's going to drop the attack stat of the Dragonite. But it also does the same to the Torkoal. And then, of course, there's the Eject Pack. Now, I've never really seen Eject Pack be used in this manner quite effectively. So I just want to give a big shout out to Dimonutive. This is an amazing team, and the fact that you came up with it for this battle is pretty impressive. So kudos to you, my friend. Definitely, guys, check out their channels. Like, all these players that I'm playing against are all really great players, and they all deserve to get a sub or get a follow out of it, so be sure to check them out. We do have Tauros in here. Of course, Tauros I'm not really sure is going to be able to knock something here, but we're going to try our best. We're trying to decide if we're going to go for the Dragonite or the Charizard. Both are equally threatening. So here we see Dragonite going in for the Terrestrial, and of course, as you can see, it is Terra Normal. And, you know, I'm actually really surprised that I didn't see Charizard go for the Terrestrial, considering the sun is still up. Charizard goes in for the Protect, maybe fearing maybe a close combat like it did before, I'm not sure. Sludge Bomb going into the Charizard, not going to make contact due to the Protect. And then, of course, here we go with the Tauros with the Curse. Now, this should boost up our defensive values as well as our attack stat. It is going to lower our speed. The biggest thing here is I wanted to be able to live an attack from that Dragonite. And here comes the Earthquake. Of course, it hits the Gengar, and Tauros actually survives quite nicely. The fact that we were able to drop the attack stat onto the Dragonite is pretty big. But as well, you know, I pretty much only have Clefable left. We did get the knockout with my Gengar, which is unfortunate. Pretty much at this time I can go for the Terrestrialization and maybe go for like Wild Charge or Close Combat. There is the Terrestrial Blast. I'm not sure if the Terrestrial Blast might have been a better choice. If I did end up going in for the Terra Ghost, I might have been able to survive if he ended up going to go for like an extreme speed. As you can see, I'm kind of backing out and going back in here. Here we go with the Terrestrial. And we are going to go in for the attack onto the Dragonite. And then, of course, it's going to go for the Heal Pulse onto the Tauros. Try to regain a little bit of our health here. Now, again, I don't know if we're going to be able to survive a hit. If he does go for extreme speed, of course, we won't get any kind of damage taken from that because we're a Ghost type. Here's the Heat Wave. And under that sun, that's pretty brutal. If I didn't go for the Curse, maybe I might have been able to attack first. Who knows? I won't know in this case. But I think me going for the Curse definitely didn't help. But it did help against that Dragonite, so yahoo! So yeah, here's the Earthquake. It doesn't affect the Charizard. It is going to hit the Clefable, and that's going to be the knockout. So good game, Dimonutive. Thank you very much for the battle, and I hope you guys enjoyed the match. Take care, have a good one, and as always, peace out.